Hi guys, I'm Harkin and welcome to Harks Paints. You're looking at part 1 of the absolute total beginner guide to the 40k hobby. We're going to be going over today the absolute basics of what to do when getting into modelling, or as I like to call it, paint etiquette. Just put it there, yeah. First off the bat, let's make sure you've got all the tools you need in one place. You're going to need a water pot because you're going to need to clean your brush. You're going to need something to clean your brush on and dry it out. A bit of kitchen towel will suffice for this, and you might need somewhere to put certain paints. What's ideal for this is a wet palette. Now you can go to a pound store or dollar store equivalent for this, or you can simply use what I like to use, which is just like the little lid of a I believe this was like a pack of dates. Now you can start painting. But remember, paint will absolutely fleck everywhere. What I recommend doing is, if you're working on a surface where you've got a carpet beneath you and you want absolute stability, put down an old towel first of all so you've got some grip, especially if you've got a smooth surface table, and then put down a tea tray or something similar, like maybe a cardboard box. Roll down the edge and just put your paints and equipment inside it so you've got a nice absorbent area. You're just covering your bases at this stage. In addition to home items and potentially the surface you're working on, paint can go on you. What I personally recommend is when you paint, you wear something cheap, like old clothes or jammies that nobody's going to see. Also, while you can get acrylic paint relatively easy with a good scrub, a bit of soap and some hot water, I still prefer to use vinyl gloves, just because it means I get less of it on my hands, I'm a little bit cleaner afterwards, and it's, well, I just prefer it really. Okay, so we've got some formalities of etiquette out of the way. Now let's talk about paint, yeah? So, something that you see time and time again is shake your paints. The reason we do this is because you have to shake a paint pot for it to properly activate, and this is pretty much across the board for all brands. You want to spend about 20 or 30 seconds just really thoroughly shaking your paint pots to get all of the chemicals mixed. You'll notice that if you just open it up straight off the bat, that a lot of them have this kind of horrible oily watery texture, and you might be wondering, well, what is this? This is literally just because all of the chemicals have kind of like dissipated. The moment you shake them up properly and you get this nice viscous thick texture, you know you're ready to paint. Now another one for you that I absolutely enforce is use one pot at a time. The reason I do this is partly because I don't want my paints to dry up, and partly because if I was to knock anything over, there'd only be the one pot that would go. It's a case of just decluttering things, and you know, it's just good practice to have just the one pot kind of open at any given time and focus on that. Seal it up, off it goes, open another. You don't have 5 or 6 pots or 10 at any given point all open on, you know, your table with a painting surface. Another thing that I tend to do is I order out everything that I'm going to use. So rather than at the start of a painting session just getting absolutely everything out, I will only get out the ones that I feel like I need. We'll talk a bit more in the next video about that when I cover swatches and paint schemes, but if I'm working on a particular scheme, I will have absolutely no reason to get out the entirety of my paints. Everything else I will tuck away and tidy into a little box, and I will just leave it there where it's out of the way. It's decluttering and making sure that you've got enough, you know, room to maneuver, I guess. So that's it really. That's the kind of etiquette that I adhere to whenever I'm modelling, and hopefully for those of you who are new to the hobby out there, it'll give you an idea of what you should be doing as well. But what kind of videos do you guys want to see? Why don't you let me know in the comments below? And if you want to help me out, you can like and subscribe to this channel, you can check out my Instagram page, and you can check out the Facebook page as well. All of which would help me out a great deal. So hopefully you will, hopefully I'll see you around, and hopefully I've helped somebody out there, because that's what it's all about. Peace!